Today's daf is daf Yud Gimel. We pick up in the middle of Yud Bet. Well, not the middle, towards the bottom of Yud Bet Amud Bet. We're in the middle of a series of midrashim around Yetzias Mitzrayim, specifically around the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu, and we pick up with Rabbi Chanina bar Papa, which is about 20 lines from the bottom, line starting with the word Bishvili Nitzaltem Kulchem. It continues as follows: Rabbi Chanina bar Papa Amar. That day that Moshe was discovered by Bat Paro was the 21st of Nisan. Amu, because that's also based on the word of like Zeh from the focus of the pasuk, right? So Amu Malachi Ashar Sifnei Kodesh Baruch Hu, the heavenly angel said to God, Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the universe, Mishati Lomar Shira Alayam B'Yom Zeh. The one who in the future will sing out the praise, the song on the Red Sea on this day. On this day he should be smitten. So Rabbi Chanina says, also Yom Shisha B'Sivan Haya. No, the day that Moshe was found was not the 21st of Nisan, which is the day, 7 days from Yetzias Mitzrayim that the Yam Suf split and that they sang the Shir on the Yam. Nope, it was the 6th of Sivan, which, as we know, is the day that the Torah was given. The heavenly angel said to God, the one who in the future will receive Torah from Har Sinai on this day, should be smitten on this day. So again, this is based on the use of the word Zeh in the pasuk. What is it? V'yaldei ha'ivrim Zeh. So what's the emphasis of the Zeh? So this day is the day they should be smitten. So b'shleim l'man damar b'shisha b'sivan. So if you say that Moshe was discovered the 3 months and that he was discovered by Bat Para on the 6th of Sivan, so that then works out the 3 months from the time he was born. Why? The Amarmar b'shiva ba'adar meis b'shiva ba'adar nolad. Moshe was died on the 7th of Adar and born on the 7th of Adar. How do we know this? Because it basically says that Bnei Yisrael, mourned Moshe for 30 days, and then it says on the 3rd day after the mourning ceased, God said to Yehoshua, "Go cross over the Jordan," and that day was the Psukim made clear in Yehoshua was the 10th of Nisan. So there you go. Moshe died on the 7th of Adar. How do you know he's born on the 7th of Adar? So that's based on a drasha where it says, hayom. So today I'm a full 120 years old. This is the day that I was born. So the idea also that Tzadikim live out a full year. They die on the day that they were born. So if he was born also on the 7th of Adar, so let's see. So 3 months from the 7th of Adar gets you to, anybody want to do the math? Right,
7 Sivan.
Right, Nisan, Iyar, Sivan. Well, all right, 6 or 7, but basically 3 months till 6 of Sivan. So it actually works out very nicely. It's the day of Matan Torah. But if you say it is the 21st of Nisan, so then you're falling short by many, many days, right? So by more than a month. Yes?
Isn't it opinion the Torah was given on 7 Sivan?
Okay, so Mephied. Anyway, one or the other.
But I would think if you have a full year, right, it'd be the day before.
Okay, yeah. Fine. Anyway, good point. So El Madamar Besim Becha B'Nisan Heich Mishkachas La. Also Shanamu Beres Haisa. Oh, it was a leap year. Ruba Rishon. So you had the remainder of Nisan. Okay, if you was I'm sorry. Yeah, you had the
remainder of Adar Rishon.
I'm sorry. Thank you. The remainder of Adar Rishon. I was going backward. Right. So you were born on 7th of Adar. You had the remainder of Adar Rishon. Okay. You had Ruba Shel Acharon. Well, actually, Ruba Shel Acharon V'Emser Shalem. So you had all of Adar Sheni, and then you had 21 days of Nisan. So there you go. It wasn't a full 3 months, but it was most of month number 1, all of month number 2, and most of month number 3. Okay. So the sister said to the daughter of Paro, shall I go and call for you a nursemaid from the Hebrew women? Why did she specifically say Hebrew women? Why wouldn't Bas Paro want it to be an Egyptian women? Now, one obvious answer could be that if the Hebrew women are throwing all of their babies into the Nile or being forced to whatever, then there are a lot of women who are lactating who would be free to nurse a baby, who don't have babies of their own that they are nursing. But okay, but let's see what it says. They tried to have Moshe nurse from Egyptian women, Kulan, all of them, below Yanak, and he referred to and he refused to suckle. Amar, he said, or Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu somehow. So God said, or if it was Moshe's intuition said, or instinct said. The mouth that will eventually speak to God should suckle something impure. Now, what's something impure? It doesn't mean the person. People are not tamei, but it means that they eat tray food, and the food that you eat impacts the milk of the mother. This actually, I'm sure Charlie will tell us that there's actually quite true, right? The things that the mothers eat, whatever, impacts the milk.
That is true.
Yes. So therefore, in the milk of the mother, if the mother is eating non-kosher food, is some impact of that non-kosher food, some element of that non-kosher food.
Of course, all the Jews weren't really necessarily keeping kosher.
It's being so.
And weren't the Egyptians Egyptians vegetarians?
I don't know about that. Anyway, so therefore, how could he be getting some of that tray food through the mother's milk? Right, of course, since when were the Jews keeping kosher at that time? But actually, what's interesting about this is it leads to some discussion in the poskim of how much is this a halacha or not? Feeding an infant child, how much does the food have to be kosher, right? Because he's under the age of chinuch. So there's no chinuch element, but is there some intrinsic spiritual power or negative power to non-kosher food? Like the Gemara also says, metamte mesalev, stop clogs up the heart, so that maybe even completely.
What do you mean by meaning they have to have a formula that be kosher?
Yeah, exactly. You have to get a formula with a hefsher.
An awful lot of Ashkenazic food clogs up the heart.
Okay, moving on. Okay, v'hainu d'chsiv, and this is what the verse says: "Es mi yored de'av, es mi avin shmuel, mulei mechalav me'atkei shadayim." So, Lemi Yored De'ah, who is the one that will teach knowledge? Lemi Yavin Shmuel, who will understand the tradition or the report? Meaning, who is the one that is fit to learn and to teach the Torah? Ligmulei Mechalav, the one who weans himself from the milk, Ulatikei Mishadayim, and removes himself from the breast. So, for Moshe, who refused to suckle from the Egyptian women. Vatomer Labas Paro, and the daughter of Paro said to her, Hey Lichi, isn't it Lichi? Is it Hey Lichi, right? Yeah. Hey Lichi. That's a yelad azev enikuli. Okay. So Amar Rebbe Lezer, Malamid halcha Lechi. No, it's Hey Lichi when she gives it to. No, that's when she did. No, that's when she gives it to Yocheved. But when Miriam says, "Should I go?" Then Fatoma Labas Paro Lechi. Yeah. Hamas. I was jumping ahead. Okay. Fatoma Labas Paro Lechi. So she tells to Miriam, "Go get a Hebrew woman." I'm Rabbi Lezer, and Melamed Sha'achab is Rizut Ka'alma. So then it says, Vatelech Ha'alma, Vatagel Eim Hayoled. And the last, the young woman went. So Miriam probably was not so young at that age. Well, I don't know, because if Miriam was, anyway, it says she went with alacrity, like a young woman. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure it out. Right? If Moshe was, if Aaron was only 3 years older than Moshe, right? How old was Miriam?
Yeah, we don't know.
So maybe it means Alma. Maybe it doesn't mean like she went like a younger woman. Maybe she went like an older. Maybe she went like a teenager. She had so much energy. Okay. Anyway, so Reb Shmuel bar Nachmani Amar Ha'alma. Why did it say Ha'alma? Because she concealed her words. She said, "Look, here's a Hebrew woman," and of course it was the mother. Okay, there we go. Here, take this child. The daughter of Paro prophesied without knowing what it was that she was prophesying. Okay, hey lichi, here is lichi. Hey shalichi, here's the one that is yours. So basically, in that word, it's like she didn't realize she was saying, "Here, this is your own child." Okay, and I will give your fee. It's not sufficient for the righteous that their lost objects are returned to them. They get back what is theirs. They get paid for taking back their things that is theirs. Okay. Now that since we're talking about Miriam, we want to quote this later pasuk by the Shiras Hayam in order to illuminate something we're talking about now. So Miriam, the sister of Aaron, took Achos Aaron v'lochos Moshe. Why does it say Aaron's sister, not Moshe's sister? Amar Rabbi Amarav, Amila, Amarav Nachman, Amarav, Melamid Shaisa Misnaba'a Keshi Achos Aaron, because it was Miriam Haniviyah Achot Aaron. She was already a Neviah when she was only Aaron's sister, before Moshe was born. So she prophesied before Moshe was born. So that's very suggestive once you say that. She's prophesying before Moshe was born. What more is there to prophesy about other than the birth of Moshe? Okay. V'omeret, and she said, Atida ini shetelei ben shemoshiach Yisrael. My mother will give birth to a son that will be the savior of Israel. The Kivin Shenoled Moshe, and once Moshe was born, Yitmala Kol Habayit Kula Or. The whole house was filled with light.
Like it's in well with that other.
The other midrash that says, right, Kitov Hu, right? Okay. Amar Avia V'Nashka Al Rosha. Her father got up and kissed her on her forehead. Amar said to her, Biti Nitkayma Nevuatayech. My daughter, your prophecy is being fulfilled.
He was also happy because he brought his wife back.
There you go. All right. So Miriam was not only like wise in that she basically got him to reverse his decree, right? But she also was a prophetess. So it was all because of Miriam that everything happened, both taking his wife back and she prophesied. Okay, so then, but once Moshe was thrown into the river, into the Nile, the father went and like slapped her on the head, hit her on her head. So Amarla said to her, Biti, my daughter, where's your prophecy? Look what's happening. And that's what it says. The sister stood far off to know what would be with Moshe. That's why she was hovering. She wanted to see what happened to her prophecy. Would her prophecy ultimately be fulfilled? By the way, once again, Miriam has the long-term view, and Amram has very immediate response, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Paras goes there. We have to stop because our wise, So Miriam, both of these cases has a long-term view. Yes.
Wasn't Amram one of the 4 people mentioned who never sinned?
I guess you could make a mistake without sinning, but I don't know. It's a good question. Okay, just 1 minute. I just want to see something. Yeah, it's interesting because if Miriam was also one of the Miyaldot, like maybe how old are we supposed to assume she was? Right? Was she 3 years old or was she 15 years old? I mean, if she was one of the Miyaldot. Right, so
she would have been at least a teenager.
What do you would think? Okay. Anyway, now we get to move on from the story of Moshe to the story of Yosef. Yosef Zacha. Yosef merited that his bones were that he took up Moshe's bones. Excuse me. Yosef merited that he took up his father Yaakov's bones, and he was the greatest of the generation, and therefore he merited that when he died, Moshe took his bones, and Moshe was the greatest of the generation. Okay, so let's take a look. So now we're going to first talk about Yosef bearing Yaakov. When it first said, when he went up to bury him, it says Yosef went and all the servants of Paro, and then followed the servants of Paro, or the household of Paro, or his entire household and his father's household, which means that Paro's entourage gets precedence over Yosef's immediate family. Okay, and when they returned, it says, Vayashav Yosef Mitzrayim v'Hadar that when he returned, it was him and his whole family, and then the entourage of Paro. So why was it on the return trip they gave more honor to Yosef's family? So initially they did not see the honor afforded to the entire Israelite people, meaning Yosef. They obviously understood, but they didn't appreciate the honor afforded to them. So lo nagu behen kavod, they did not show respect. In the end, when they saw that their honor, they saw how other people gave them honor. We'll see that in a minute. They also treated them with honor. Now, where are we going to see that other people treated the Israelite family with honor? It says, they came to the threshing floor of Atad, and Atad means like a thorn bush, thistles. So the Gemara says, who makes threshing, for thistles? Who wants thistles? Unless I guess you're Eeyore. Anyway, it shows you that what Atad here means is that they surrounded Yaakov's coffin with crowns. The kings came to show respect and put crowns on Yaakov's coffin and surround him with crowns. And crowns obviously are very pointy, right? So that's like thorns and thistles. like a threshing floor which you surround with thorn bushes. Rashi says basically with like a fence of thorns, to keep people out or to keep the animals out.
I mean, that's what Goren Atad is then.
Goren Atad is a Goren surrounded by like a thorn fence, but rather than just stopping there, it says no. What it's showing you is that they also put these crowns on Yaakov's coffin. Shabo b'nei Esav. Now here's we're going to see who put the crowns on. Shabo b'nei Esav b'nei Yishmael b'nei Keturah. So because they all came to show respect. Now it didn't start by showing respect. All of the various descendants, b'nei Esav, b'nei Yishmael b'nei Keturah. At least they were from an earlier generation, right? So from the children of Avram, or whatever, Avram's grandchildren. But in b'nei Esav was clearly, the whole break off from Yaakov. So, but they all came. Now, we taught in Brisa, kulam limilchama. They didn't come initially to show respect. They basically said, here we go. Here's Yaakov's family, and they're coming back into the land of Canaan, where we've been. Let's just go. Or maybe, in general, we want to find opportunity, but maybe they also felt that they were taking over the land that they were in. So they said, let's go to war against them. So where were we? Even Sharok, he saw Yosef, Yaakov. But then they saw Yosef, who was, this obviously the second in command here of Egypt, and his crown was suspended over Yaakov's coffin. So they all followed suit, which is actually quite ironic because here it sort of says and then so the Egyptians saw how other people afforded respect to Bnei Yisrael, but they weren't showing respect to Bnei Yisrael. They were showing respect to Yosef because of his position in Egypt. But okay, anyway, somehow, nevertheless, since it was this major show of respect to Yaakov, however it came about, that led to the Mitzrayim having more respect, showing respect to Bnei Yisrael. Okay, Tanu done a brisa. There were 36. Rashi somehow does the math. It's like if you count up all of the what do you call it? Princes that are listed for Esav and for Yishmael. It doesn't exactly come to 36, but it comes close, and Rashi sort of figures out how you get to 36.
You're trying to get to 36 is like Shem Hashem or something?
Yeah, well, no, Shem Hashem is 26. Okay. Vayispadu Sham Yisped Gadol v'Chaved Ma'od, and they eulogize there a great and heavy eulogizing or wailing. Even the horses and even the donkeys. They were basically part of the mispade. So it sort of reminds you of, what do you call it, of like this Yonah, right, when they had the animals wearing the sackcloth. Anyway, all right. I'm not sure what we're supposed to get out of that, but it felt as such an enormous tragedy. I guess it is sort of like Ninveh, that you wanted to demonstrate it, that it's, how enormous it was, that even the animals somehow were part of that. Okay. Now, that was going on. Now they came to the Marat HaMachpelah. Also Esav, Kama'akev. Esav came and he was trying to prevent them from burying. Amalek, he said to them, listen, so you have, this is Kiryat Arba, which is Chevron, and Rabbi Yitzchak, and Rabbi Yitzchak said, now Rashi points out Esav wasn't saying this, the Gemara is giving us this as background. Rabbi Yitzchak said, Kiryat Arba Zugot Hayu, there were 4 pairs that were buried there, Adam v'Chava, Avraham v'Sarah, Yitzchak v'Rivka, Yaakov v'Leah. Okay, that's eventually we're now on the Yaakov part of this. Okay, so basically, but the point being that there were only enough spaces for 4 pairs. And already now, 3.5 pairs had been buried, right? The previous and Leah. So Iu cover Leah. So basically, here's what Esav is saying. Look, there's only one space for one coffin left. Yaakov buried Leah. Bididei, in his, the one that was his unit. The high depayish and the remaining space, a niche, and the remaining space is DDU, is for me. So basically, Yaakov and I, we're equal heirs. So he got half of what was left of the Marat HaMachpelah, and I got the other half. He got one of the units, I got the other unit. He buried Leah. The last one I'm keeping for myself. You don't get to bury Yaakov there. So Amruleh, they said to him, Zavinta, you sold it to him when you sold the bride of the firstborn. Amruleh, he said back, no, yes, I sold the privilege of the firstborn, but Pshitusa Mizvini, I didn't sell my basic right as a normal son, and therefore we each get one of the units of the Marat HaMachpelah. Amrulay, yes, you did sell it to him, because we know Yaakov testified, in my grave that I have dug for me. Kira does not means nothing other than, I mean, it does mean dig, but means nothing other than to purchase.
Yaakov didn't dig Ma'at then.
Well, but he might have pre-dug his niche, okay? But clearly, what is clear is, and this is like, you always wonder, like, why is the Gemara, making up this whole story? Like, what evidence in the Psukim? What is it trying to teach you? So maybe it's just trying to sort of, well, we'll see as we continue the story. You can speculate what they're trying to teach you. But it might be basing it off of this pasuk that Yaakov emphasizes to his children his ownership and his right to this right thing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't say, to be kivri, my grave, asher karisi li, that I dug for myself. Right, so what does it mean? He dug his grave. Weren't they already pre-dug? And why is he emphasizing? Why didn't he just say, go bury me in the Maras HaMachpelah, which Avram purchased? So it seems like there's something potentially contentious about his grave that he had to emphasize, I dug it for myself. So it seems like that's probably where it's taking off to develop the story, and it's reading karisi not to be dug, but to be purchased. Because in the in the islands, kira, because mechira to purchase is to sell, is to call kira. So karisi I purchased from me. So he said to them, no, it's all a lie. Show me the document that shows where, that I sold it to Yaakov. Amrulay, they said to him, we left that back in Egypt. So, Uman Nazil, so it's no problem, we'll get it faxed. Uman Nazil, who should go? Nazil Naphtali. Let's send Naphtali to go fetch it. The Kolil Ki Ayulasa, Naphtali is as fast as a ayal, as a, what's an ayal? What? Hind, right, what's that? Like a doe, right? A deer. Yeah. Right, okay. He's as fast as a deer. Naftali ayala shulucha. Naftali is, and they're playing also the word shulucha. Right, he's being sent on a message. Right, so he's a deer that is being sent. Hanoseni me shafer, that gives good words. Amar Rabbi Avalati me shafer eli me sefer, the words of the book, of the document. So he was sent off to fetch the document. Now, so Naphtali is running, everything is being delayed. Chushim Brei Didan, now Chushim, the son of Dan, Tamanhave, was there. The Yakrin Le'udne, he was hard of hearing, literally his ears were heavy. Amalahu, he said to everybody else, Mayai, what's going on? Vamrule, they said to him, Kama Akev Hai, this one, Esav, is holding up the works, Adasi Naphtali, Miyad Mitzrayim, until Naphtali returns from the land of Egypt with the document. So he said to everyone, to whoever he was talking to, the Adasi Naphtali Miyad Mitzrayim, until Naphtali gets back from Egypt, Abi Abba Mutab, if he's my father's father should be there in disgrace, like he's not being buried. We were just waiting there with his coffin. Shakel Kufa, he took a rod. Machia Resha, he hit Esav on the head. Natrin Eine, so Esav's eyes popped out. V'naflu akara di Yaakov, and they fell on Yaakov's lap. I guess it was an open coffin. Patrinu
all the way from Mitzrayim.
All the way from Mitzrayim. Patrinu Yaakov le'ene. Yaakov opened up his eyes. V'achich, and he smiled. The righteous will see when he sees, vengeance, right? Justice will rejoice, right? Will rejoice. Thank you. Yismat will rejoice when he sees vengeance is being done. Retribution probably. He will wash his hands with the blood of the wicked. Okay. What can I tell you? Anyway, so that's interesting. So one of the things is that there's some like satisfying end, which is, but
even like the psukim seem to like Yaakov and Esau reconciled.
Yeah, so that's the funny thing. Like, what's the matter with the, with the way you read the psukim? Exactly, they reconciled. Why isn't that a satisfying end? So one has to, right? Why do you have to sort of see like Esav is evil and he's now getting killed in this way, and he's a Russia and he's getting, and he's getting payback. So it's possibly that Chazal were projecting, Esav represented for them. If Yaakov and Esav were seen as these two, entities constantly in war, right? So after you no longer have the original Esav, who historically winds up being Esav, so winds up being Rome, and after Rome, of course, Esav was later understood, Christianity. So it's like, who is seen as the primary sort of, not competitor, but what's the word? Anyway, antagonist. Thank you. That's a better word. Antagonist, to Bnei Yisrael at any particular in time. So it went from Esav to Rome to Christianity. So if they're dealing, so the offensive, like they've been suffering enormous, a great deal, and payback and justice seems very, very far away. So there's something, I think, satisfying, projecting, that type of a thing on the Yaakov and Esav. In the end, look, we'll laugh, right? They'll get their due and we will laugh. Okay? So, at that moment, the prophecy of Rivka, we had the prophecy of Miriam before, the prophecy of Rivka was fulfilled. Why will I be bereaved of the two of you one day, in the same day? Now, even though they didn't die on the same day, they both were buried on the same day. So to some degree, her prophecy was fulfilled. Okay, now I don't understand, according in this whole story, why why Hushim had to be deaf. Somebody can explain that to me, or hard of hearing.
I mean, always man acted so impulsively, like he didn't know what was going on.
I mean, he just got upset that that this guy was causing the delay, and he felt that with my grandfather's body's in disgrace, and he acted. So maybe you're right. Like maybe if there had been build up to it, he wouldn't have had such an impulsive reaction. Anyway, all right. So now it says like this. The Elo Asik Be Yosef. Now the Gemara says, and 1 minute. Why does it say that Yosef buried? If Yosef hadn't done it, are you telling me the brothers wouldn't have involved themselves in the burial? But they did involve themselves in the burial. And the sons, carried him up to the land of Canaan. So why does one pasuk attribute it? It's funny the way the Gemara phrases the question, but one pasuk attributes it to Yosef, and another pasuk we see the brothers are doing it. So the Gemara says, Amru, no, because what the brother said is, let Yosef take the lead. Yaakov's honor is greater if kings bury him than if us just lay people bury him. So basically they allowed him to take more of the lead in it, even though clearly they were involved. Okay, now the same way Yosef buried Yaakov, Moshe concerns himself with bringing Yosef's bones out of Mitzrayim. And look, there is that very strong parallel, right? That Yosef brings the bones out of Mitzrayim of Yaakov, and now, it's so bizarre, right? Moshe, so part of what it is doing is coming to show, that it's like closure. There was this prophecy, and there was this long period of enslavement, and again, it looked like it was the prophecy had been forgotten, would never be fulfilled, and ultimately it was. And Yosef is coming back to Eretz Canaan, and Bnei Israel going back to Eretz Canaan. So there's that closure and that closing of the circle. But at the same time, it is in clear parallel with Yosef bringing Yaakov's bones back from Mitzrayim. Yes.
Why didn't Yosef's sons bury him? Yosef was the first, or certainly was not the last of the brothers to die.
Well, we'll see a question like that coming up. Okay. Tana Rabbanan. Come and see how dear the mitzvahs were to Moshe. All of Israel was focusing on, the booty, on how we're going to get, more gold and silver out of Egypt and borrowing the vessels. He let them do all that. He ran after the mitzvahs that there were to do. The wise of heart will take mitzvot. How do you know where he was buried? Amru Serach Bat Asher Yishtaira Me'osar Hador. People said, you know what? Serach Bat Asher is the one person who is still alive from that generation of Yosef. Halach Moshe etzlo. So Moshe went to her. Amarla Klumat Yodaat Heichen Yosef Kavur. You know where Yosef is buried? By the way, this is very interesting, right? Talking about like a period in which they had given up hope of redemption, right? It's like they were not keeping alive a tradition of where Yosef was buried, right? If they were sustaining the hope of the ultimate redemption, then they would have kept alive that tradition of where Yosef was buried.
Well, Yosef would think, if he was a noble, he would be buried in the Valley of Kings and Queens.
Okay, but it's the way the Gemara is framing it here. Nobody knew except this one old woman, right? So it is interesting, like what was happening, where it sounds like Bnei Israel had to feel completely despaired, right? So I think it's an interesting question of were they continuing to sustain the hope and the trust in Yosef's promise?
It's interesting that it's a woman.
Yeah, it's true. In all these stories, it's a woman, actually. Right. Oh, that's very good. You mean the whole like oral tradition and the keeper, right, and the woman. It's a good point. Okay. Where were we? Okay. Amarla, he said to her, Klumat Yodad Heichen Yosef Kavur. Do you know where Yosef is buried? Amrlo, she said to him, Egypt made for him a metal coffin, and they buried it, not buried it, but sank it, like sort of attached it to the ground of the Nile, at the bottom of the Nile. In order that the waters of the Nile would be blessed. Yosef prophesied, and that led to, first of all, the famine, but anyway, so therefore that's where he's buried. So Moshe went and he stood by the edge of the Nile. Amrlo, Yosef, he said to him, Yosef, the time has come that God has sworn that God will redeem you. I assume the Ani here is God, not Moshe. And now the oath that you had made Israel swear, it's the time to fulfill it. If you show yourself good, and if not, so we are exempt from your oath. We've done everything we could do. It's up to you, Yosef. Miyad saf aronosha Yosef. Immediately, Yosef's coffin floated. And do not be astounded. How could iron float? It says, and a person was sort of like knocking down, a beam, and the hatchet, the iron, fell into the water. And then he said to the prophet, he said, "Aha, Adoni, whoa, my master, who Shaul? It was a borrowed hatchet." By Yomar Ish Elokim, the man of God, meaning Elisha, said to him, "Ana nafal, where did your hatchet fall?" And he showed him the place. So he cut a piece of wood, and he threw it in that place. And then the iron, the head of the hatchet or whatever, the iron floated.
Okay, so don't be surprised that it floated miraculously here, because it floated miraculously
there. Exactly. It's also so funny because we forget that if you read the Nevi'im, you see how they would sometimes go to their prophets for like trivial things. I can't find my donkeys or whatever, So 1 minute, let me just finish it. Where is it? So Elisha was a student of Eliyahu, and Eliyahu was a student of Moshe, and the iron would flow for him. His name Moshe ben Elachaz. How much more so for Moshe Rabbeinu? Yes.
Is there any place in Tanakh where the Nile is referred to by the word Nile? Stanislaw says that's the Greek.
Yeah, no, it's like it says Hanahar Hagadol.
Right,
and
I
don't think so. I don't think so, but okay. Yeah, I don't think. All right. Rabbi Nosson Omer, the Kavranit Shemalachim Haya Kavur. He was buried in
the Valley of Kings and Queens.
Right, the Valley of Kings and Queens. Kavranit. What does Steinsaltz say Kavranit means?
Crypt. Translated as
crypt. Okay, catacombs. Okay. Halach Moshe v'amar Kavranit Shemalachim. So it wasn't with the Nile. He went to the catacombs, to the crypt. Amar Yosef, same thing, same proclamation. You show yourself good. If not, we are cleansed from your oath. At that moment, Yosef's coffin shook. And I guess removed itself, shook itself free from the niche. Not Moshe v'yivio etzlo. So Moshe took it and brought it to him, removed it. And all those years that Israel was in the wilderness, there were these two, you can't say coffins, there were these two boxes, okay? One that had in it the dead, Yosef's body, and the aron of the Luchos Habris, the God's aron, God's presence. They were going side by side. Now, not really side by side, because the Gemara very much learns from Yosef that the body of Yosef, that you can bring a dead body even into Machaneh Leviyah. Well, Levite can't, but you can't bring it into Machaneh Shechinah. You can't have a dead body there. But okay, but they were still sort of going alongside, if not side by side, but pretty close to one another. They were traveling in close proximity.
What about the rest of the Aron of the Shvatim? As an honorable place. You have these other ones that, about the tumult of Yehuda, rolling around.
That's a good point. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Zaim Zev. Are you over the passerbys? I don't know how many passerbys there were in the wilderness. The passerbys said, "What is it? What are these two, boxes. I'm looking for a better word. Anyway, that you're carrying. Casket. You want a casket? Anyway, Amru, echad shel meit v'echad shel shechina. One is of a dead body, and the other is of the divine presence. You know, what right does the dead body have to go alongside the divine presence? I mean, to me, what's more troubling is that the juxtaposition seems to suggest, as that English translation has, some sense of a casket relating to the divine. Like that's more troubling. Yeah. Is that like what? Are you saying your God is dead? Like, I mean, you know, it's very disturbing, the image.
The Christians would have a field day with
this. Oh my God! But anyway, but the Gemara, let's see what the Gemara does with it. Amru, they said. This one, you know, Yosef fulfilled everything that was written in this, meaning in the Luchot, I guess. Now, the reason, now we understand why the Gemara is saying it, because it's clear from other Gemarot that this would be a standard, not standard, whatever. In cases of when a real big Talmud Chacham would die, they would put a Sefer Torah in his Aron. They wouldn't bury it, but sort of in the procedure, in the Levaya, and they would say, Ki ein zeh ma shekasuv bazeh.
They're there anymore.
So, well, no. So anyway, you know, so like, you know, this person, like Torah was his life, you know, and they would demonstrate it by, you know, he was all about Torah and so on. He was a living Torah. So here they're sort of making this as a, you know, parent, as the original example of that, right? Okay, V'ilo asik be Moshe, Yisrael of Naski be. Now it asks the same question asked by Yosef. Are you telling me that if Moshe had not done it, Israel would not have done it? And it's funny that it asks this in the hypothetical, because it's actually going to show psukim where it sounds like Israel did it, same as before. They, Bnei Yisrael, buried in Shem, and that's they helu, right? And they Asher Hela Moshe. It says Asher Helu Bnei Yisrael. But two, in addition, Ilo Yaskibe Yisrael, Banav Lavim Yaskibe. There you go, Charlie. And if Yisrael, all of the people wouldn't have done it, wouldn't his children have done it? And again, it's interesting, it's in the hypothetical. Vaksiv, it says, Vayuliv Bnei Yosef l'nachala, and it was for Bnei Yosef for an inheritance. So, Livnei Yosef l'nachala. And so again, it seems to attach specifically Bnei Yosef to the act of the burial, because it's the same psukim. Amru. So really, here's what happened. It's true. But Yosef were involved. All of Yisrael was involved. But they said, "Hinichulo, let Moshe do it." Kvodo, or like Kvodo bin Rubin, Yoter bin Muatim. First, his honor is more. Right. I guess Bnei Yosef said, "Let Bnei Yisrael do it," because it's greater honor that the masses do it rather than that a few do it.
So Moshe was the one took it out of Egypt, not Bnei Yosef.
Right.
Numerous than just
no. I think it's going it's two stages.
I know.
Bnei Yosef said, "Let Bnei Yisrael do it," and Bnei Yisrael said, "V'su amru hinichulo, let Moshe do it. Kvoda b'gdolim yosemi b'ktanim. Better a great one do it than small ones do it." Okay, but again, it's interesting.
Better one honorable person than many
right. Ones. Of course, it's very interesting because it makes it seem like, bottom line, did Yisrael do it? Or did just Moshe do it? It's the same question as before. It says hinichulo. It sounds like it's framing it like they let Moshe, they didn't do it, and they asked before hypothetically, but wouldn't they have done it? You know, and nevertheless, it sounds from the psukim that they actually did do it. So I guess one way to sort of bridge that gap is to say, like, maybe they started it and they were prepared to do more, but ultimately they let Moshe take the lead. Anyway, okay, now Kivru b'Shechem. So they buried him in Shechem. Ma'ishna b'Shechem. Why Shechem? Amar Rabbi Chanina Mishchem ganvuhu, because that's where he was stolen from. He was sold off into slavery in Shechem. U'Shechem nachzir avedato. So let's return him. That was the place where he was taken from the land of Canaan. Let's return, you know, his lost object. I don't know who the land's lost object. Anyway, but let's return him to where he came from. Now, Kasha Kraya Dadi, we have a problem with the psuki. See, one pasuk says, "Vayikach Moshe Satzmos Yosef Imo." So Moshe took it. That's not supposed to say Vayisher Elu Bnei Yisrael. So now it's so funny. Like, didn't you just ask that question? Yeah. Okay, but now it's actually more than the hypothetical. It's saying, look, forget. But let's not read that hypothetically they were prepared. It sounds like they did take him out, and the other pasuk sounds like Moshe took him out. What was the story? So Amr B'Chamr B'Chanina Kolo said Davar V'Lo Gemaro. Anybody who does something and does not complete it, U'Bacher Gemaro, and somebody else comes and completes it. Ma'aleh Alav Kasuv Al Shegmaro Ki'ilu Asa'o. It's the one, like another way the Gemara says this is Eina Mitzvah Nikra El Al Shem Gomra. Right, the mitzvah is only on the one who completes.
Also in Ezekiel, right? Let's say I dig a bore 9 tefachim.
Oh, that's a good point. That's an interesting analogy. Yeah, it's an interesting analogy. Okay, so therefore, even though Moshe did it, since Yisrael were the ones who completed it and they buried him in the end, okay, then ultimately it says that they were the ones who buried Moshe. It got called on their name and not on Moshe's name. Okay. I have got to pause because this stupid thing is about to hibernate if I don't get a plug for it. And I'm going to run and see if I can get a plug.
Almost the relief pitchers in baseball will be asking to get the win now.
Yeah, right.
Because they give kavod for both, right? The person who left with the lead as well as the finisher, right?
He gets credit with the win.
They try to give kavod to both of them by giving them like some honor, right? A win or
Right.
a save, right? So, but here they're saying it's all about the finishing.
Now I checked the battery before we started, and it looked like it was more. Yeah, I got to move here. Sorry.
You got to move this way.
Let's see how far. Yeah. Joe, can you get up?
We need to move the table about 6 feet that way.
All right, there you go. Well done, everybody.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're moving phones, we're moving tables.
Exactly. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Okay, so, okay. So who did it? Was it so Bnei Yisrael gets credit for it because they were the one who finished it. Okay. So Rabbi Eliezer actually, the one who starts and does not finish actually gets brought down from their greatness. Now, of course, Moshe didn't have any choice really. But anyway, let's take a look. But for somebody, let's take a look. Yeah, of course. Let's take a look. But the point is, but we'll learn it from somewhere else. If you did have an opportunity to finish and you didn't finish, then you lose your status. Okay, if you wasted the opportunity. Yehuda went down because he tried to get Yosef saved, but he didn't succeed and he didn't see it through. It's all about the follow through. It's when they tell you about baseball or golf, right? It's true. You can start a good initiative, but if you don't follow through, it's not going to get done. And so he lost his status as a result. That's actually different because there nobody finished it, right? If somebody else finishes it, I don't think we would say Yered Miduato if you let somebody else finish it. But here, like you started it without it being finished at all, so that's a big problem. Okay, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani Omer, Av kover ishto banav. So he'll even wind up burying his wife and children. So all of that is because he didn't see it through the saving of Yosef. Again, also that's pretty, even if you want to sort of see that as punishment, it's one thing that the problem is he did not save his brother's life. It's another thing to say, oh, if you don't finish a mitzvah. Anyway, okay, I don't know. It's just exaggeration, which the Gemara does sometimes. Just send home a message. Good, it's mussar, a little fire and brimstone. Okay, so where were we? Why did Yosef refer to himself as bones in his own life? He says, right?
Obviously, he died.
Yeah, but there's one he say, my body. I mean, bones is a little, it's a little morbid. Because this was, it's funny, he referred this to himself, but somehow it's saying that this was a way he was referred to. It was a pulling down of his honor because he himself did not protest to protect his father's honor. The Kamile, his brother, said to him, Avadecha Avinu, your servant, our father, right, when they didn't realize he was Yosef. He didn't say to them anything. He didn't say, you don't have to call him my servant.
You have to keep up the charade.
I know you had to keep up the charade, but I guess the Gemara feels there was something he could say, like, it's okay, you don't have to call him my servant or something. Anyway, so because he didn't do anything to protect his father's honor, his honor was also brought down. So why did he die before his brothers? See, that just shows you all this debate about being a rabbi. If you want to be a rabbi, that's why it was based. I don't know. Does it mean that just it's a job that basically shortens your life? Anyway, but rabbanut means authority, but it's not clear what it's referring to. Is it referring to this previous thing about not protecting his father's honor? Is it referring to, I don't know, the way he dealt with his brothers after his father died? Is it, I mean, what exactly is it dealing with?
Right, because it can't just be him being the second commander of Egypt, because that wouldn't be Hinhigat.
Right.
Be like what he was.
Right, like he took on, you're right. I mean, the Hinhigat that's most like he really like took on that status. He was,
did more of a
exactly. Like he threw around his weight, is basically Hinhigat's Mobarabanut. Yes?
He gave himself
superior heirs. That's a nice translation. I don't know where it sees it, maybe from this story about the father, but that's, anyway. All right, moving on. Yosef Hurad Mitzrayim. Now we're talking about Yosef, and we talked about he went to Shem because he was taken from Shem. Let's go back a little bit to that story. So Yosef was brought down to Mitzrayim. Amar Rabbi Lezer, I'll take me Hurad Ela Horid. He brought down, not he was brought down, but he brought down. He ultimately was brought down, the astrologers of Paro, from their greatness. Why is that? Because in the end, they weren't able to interpret the dream, and he was able to interpret the dream. So he was going to bring down Mitzrayim, essentially. Potiphar, Paro's eunuch, bought him. And this is very interesting, right? What is a eunuch doing with a wife, right? So maybe Saris means something else, but let's see what the Gemara says. Amarav shekna'o la'atzmo, he purchased him for his own purposes. He basically wanted him for sex. And he wasn't yet a Sris Paro. So Ba Gavriel, some have, or Ba Gavriel B'Sirso, Ba Gavriel Piro, some don't have the first phrase. Gavriel came and basically castrated him, or Piro was basically like, pulled back his the skin, the skin of his penis, and something basically made him effectively castrated him. He actually says Piro is a greater degree of Sirso. Meikaraksiv Potiphar, first it says Potiphar, Ubisof Potifera. So the word Priya, like by a Mila, when you cut off the foreskin, then there's the Priya of the pulling back of the thin skin that's underneath the foreskin. So here presumably it means obviously some form of mutilation that was done that made him infertile, and that made him a Cerise Paro. Okay. Now that we're done with Yosef, with Moshe bearing Yosef, we deal with God bearing Moshe. Milan go to me Moshe, so Moshe was no one greater, he buried Yosef, so God was buried Moshe. And God said to me, enough for you. I'll tosef to bear my obed of our man. Don't speak anymore about me about this thing, right? When God said to Moshe, you're not going into the land. So Amr Levi, Birav Biser, Birav Bisru. He used the word Rav. He informed them with Rav, and he was informed with Rav. Rav Biser, he informed the people with Rav. Rav Lachem, which is Rav Lachem B'nai Levi. Okay, Rav Bisru, Rav Lach. Now I got to tell you, I don't understand this at all. What does Rav Lachem B'nai Levi have to do with Rav Lach? Like, was that like,
is he wrong by saying that?
Wrong, right? I don't get the point. Dorach there, Rav Lach, Rav Yesh Lecha. Don't worry, Moshe. There's another like rabbi, but like there's another leader. Umanu Yehoshua. Yehoshua is waiting to take over. So not only you don't have to worry that they've got another leader in the wings, but Rashi also explains that it's sort of saying like it's not fair for you anymore. Like it's Yehoshua's turn. Okay, so Ravlach. There's a Rav here. Okay, Davar Achia Ravlach Shelo Yomru. Harav kama kashev, Talmid kama sarvan. Again, a play on the word Rav, like rabbi, right, or teacher. So you, Moshe, if you're going to keep on asking and asking and asking, it doesn't make me look good, and it doesn't make you look good. People will say, I can't believe that the master, that God is so, unfeeling and unresponsive, and I can't believe Moshe is, is such a, such a nudnik that he has to keep on asking and asking and asking. So Harav kama kashev, how like unfeeling, intransigent is the Rav, the Talmid kama sarvan, and how pressuring is the student.
I feel like the Sarev is to, refuse.
Yeah, Rashi quotes from the Darim, Hayu misarvin bo lechol etzlo, which means to like apply pressure. Okay, somehow it means to like apply a lot of pressure to get, but you're right. Sometimes it means to refuse. And why, all of this, why, meaning why was God so exacting on Moshe? Like, come on, why can't he go into the land? So Tanit Be'er Bishmel Lufum Gam L'Shichna. Based on the camel, that's the load. You load up the camel with, with what it can carry. So basically, Moshe was such a tzaddik, and at such a high level, he was taken into account even for very small things. Okay, Vayomer Alehem, Moshe said to them, I'm 120 days. What does it say today? To tell you, Now on today, my days and years are filled. I'm exactly 120 years old, and that's how we got that Moshe. Since he died on the 7th of Adar, he was born on the 7th of Adar. God makes their lives fill out the full of their to the full day and month. The number of your days I will fill. Back to what Moshe says. I can no longer go out to come and go. What does that mean to come and go? He couldn't move. He couldn't walk. He couldn't come out and he couldn't walk around as much as he could before. Moshe ben Miav what is it? So anyway, he was 120 years old and he was still in his vigor, right? His eyes hadn't dimmed and so on. So presumably, and although that pasuk isn't clear because that basically says doesn't explicitly speak about his strength, okay?
Yeah, but he managed to go up on his own.
But now, so here's a pasuk that speaks about his strength. Moshe, when God says to him, "You're going to die and go up," to Har Nevo. Moshe went from the plains of Moab to the Mount Nevo. There were 12 elevations from, I don't know exactly what elevations mean, whatever, 12 elevations from the plains to the mountain. And he jumped over all of them in one leap, in one step. Okay, so believe me, he had plenty of strength. So what does it mean that I can't come and go? So oh, I've lost what's most precious. I've lost my ability to to argue, to dispute, to analyze, go in and out with Divrei Torah. The gates of wisdom had been clogged up. He no longer had his intellectual faculty, well, whatever, not at all, but whatever. He no longer, was able to be involved in Torah as he had before. It's interesting because you normally would say that it means, let's say, not just about physical strength, but that to lead the people, But anyway, and maybe you could have turned it into it's Yoshua's turn. It's no longer my turn. But anyway, the Gemara says that it means that at that moment, the gates were closed, and it raises a question why was that why did God make it that the gates of wisdom were closed to him at that very last moment? Maybe to make him, to one way, it seems a little bit more cruel, that this thing that is obviously the most precious thing he loses while he's still alive. On the other hand, maybe it makes him more being able to reconcile himself to his death. That now that he understands, I no longer can be the person that I was. So it seems I think that's probably what the Gemara is intending. Moshe and Yoshua went and they stood in the Ohel Moed. Tana Osir Shabbos shel Dio Zuge Haisa. That Shabbat was one of the two pairs, of the pair. Both Moshe and Yoshua were sharing the leadership of that Shabbat. Nitla was taken from Moshe and given to Yoshua. It's funny he uses the word Shabbat, but it probably
of course they went to shul to hear the Torah.
No, it probably is echoing another Gemara that says Shabbos shel mi haisa. That there was a case where there was who was going to be the Rosh Yeshiva the Nasi and the Av Beit Din, etc., was under dispute, and they came to an arrangement where it would be on a rotation, and each one would have a different week, which is sometimes why you'll hear a line say Shabbat Shel Mi Haita. Whose week was it? Right? So it seems like that's why it's sort of trying to echo that, and it says look. Here they were able to share power for that Shabbat, So I think it very much is echoing, that phenomenon that they knew about, and that also they had to deal with by having a alternating. And here it's saying they were actually both able to do it. Although the both actually doesn't mean both, because one ended and the other began. It wasn't both at the same time. I'm Rabbi Yehuda. Run. If it's not been written in the pasuk, you wouldn't be able to say such a thing. Moshe Mace. Where did Moshe die? In the portion of Ruvain. It says he went to Mount Nevo. Nevo is in Reuven's portion. It stands. Etc. Nevo. So the Psukim say that Nevo is there in the and that's where the city is. Presumably that's where the mountain is. Okay. The Heichen Moshe Kavur. Where's Moshe buried? The Chelko Shel Gad. So it says he went up to Mount Nevo, but we know he's buried in God's portion. How do you know? There, the portion of the Mechokek, of the lawgiver, is buried. So that does sound like a pretty clear reference to that's where Moshe is buried, or that's where the portion of the lawgiver is hidden. Gemara certainly understands that means nothing other than that's where Moshe is buried. Okay, so how could it be Gad or Reuven? So and from Reuven's portion to God's portion, Kamahayu, Arba Milin, 4 meal. So that's not as much. You could have said a lot, but 4 meal is still 4 meal. 4 meal is about 4 kilometers. Okay. Osan Arba.
So we're saying whose portion is he buried in?
Well, we're going to say, but first let's establish how far they were from one another. Okay, they were 4 meal. Osan Arba Milin, those 4 meal, Miho Licho, who took him? He died in Mount Nevo, and he was buried 4 meal further, 4 meal away so it's okay. You can die in one place and be buried in another place in the portion of God, but who was the one who transported him? Okay. He was there hovering on the divine wings. So God was the one that was, and this, of course, the power of this is, it's going back to our Mishnah. Moshe buried Yosef, God buried Moshe. Now, where did God bury Moshe? I mean, God told Moshe to die, but where did God bury Moshe? So, of course, you could say nobody buried Moshe. He died. Who buried him?
Well, this is by guy, right? So someone had to bury him.
Right. So who buried him? But here it's sort of having God as being very really accompanying Moshe's Aaron, carrying Moshe's Aaron like Moshe carried Yosef's Aaron. So where is it? The heavenly angels, they were accompanying it, and they were saying, he did the righteousness of God, the justice of God, and the laws with Israel. Who will rise with me, against the wicked? And who after Moshe dies will rise with me, against those who do iniquity? Shmuel Amar, and Shmuel said, "Mika chacham yodei pesher davar." So who is, so he said, no, this is what God said. Who is the wise one who knows the explanation of the thing? Now that Moshe is dead, who will truly understand the Torah? Rabbi Yochanan says, here's what it said. Hachachma me'ayin timtza. Now that Moshe is dead, where will the wisdom come from? Rav Nachman Amar, vayamas sham Moshe. Now, again, I'm not sure if when it's saying that they said, because it's a very funny transition, Malachi Ashari said this, Rabbi Yochanan said that, Shmuel said that. Is Shmuel saying this is what the Malachi Ashari is saying? Or is Shmuel participating, as it were, virtually in the Levaya of Moshe? I think that's maybe the image that it's giving. The angels are saying this. Now Shmuel is adding this. Rabbi Yochanan, how do they phrase it there?
They say that they're all saying what the angels are saying.
They're all saying what the angels are saying, but the grammar is a little interesting.
Or actually, or even
what God is saying.
That's
this is what God said. Okay, it could be, but it's the vav is for money. Vishmuel Amar. What do you mean Vishmuel Amar? You don't know.
Yeah, it would have been Shmuel Amar.
Shmuel Omer. This is what they said. Right. It sounds like they were participating in the Levaya. But anyway, everybody is saying, oh my God, now that Moshe is dead, right? Because Moshe never got the eulogy. Whoever said, what's going to be after Moshe Rabbeinu? So God and the angels gave Moshe the eulogy. Okay. Let's just, Rav Nachman Amar vayamas sham Moshe. Which is not, I don't know why that's saying something important, but he declared that Moshe had died. Samayon Amar vayamas sham Moshe Safra Rabba Israel, the great scribe of Israel, has now died.
I don't see Samayon too often.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, we will end with this. Okay.
Look at the Tosfos says. Samayon Amar, Perish Rabbeinu Chanan, Ita Ami Malach.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I forgot to mention that. Right.
So what's the